Hey nerds, how's it going? Today I will be talking about the most requested movie of my choices. It's one of the most badass films I've seen this year. Some of the craziest sequences I've ever seen. One of the most visually captivating and interesting historically based films that managed to both twist and break the bounds of reality and still remain one of the most fun and equally scary, engaging masterpieces of its kind. This film, the one that you guys picked, is indeed Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Now I don't blame you for being interested in this one. I mean, come on. The other two were already in and out of theaters by now, and seriously, who can avoid a title like this? Alright, let's start off by taking a quick look at the trailer. Whoa. You know, I think now's a good time to introduce a new segment I call Expectations and Reality. And yes, it is based off of the kind of little picture series, if you've seen them on Tumblr or possibly Facebook, I don't know. Here's a clip from before I saw the movie. Alright, hey guys, my friend Brad and I are getting ready to go see Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and it should be pretty interesting. I'm pretty pumped. It's the same director of Wanted, so that should be pretty good. Lots of good action sequences, I'm assuming. And it's probably going to have a pretty good storyline. It's based off of a novel by the same title, so you know, it's gonna be well written, hopefully, at least if the screenplay is based off the book. I haven't read the book very well, much at all. I haven't read the book. But I think the film will definitely be one of a kind and something worth seeing. So I'm pumped. Let's go see it. Wow guys, I am more than happy to say that I was pretty much completely correct with this one. Actually, more correct than I thought. It was a great film. Granted, there are a few things here and there that a hardcore film critic should criticize, but the way it turned out, it's really hard for me not to like it. I mean, if you know me, which the majority of you probably do, and others who watch this who don't know me will learn, I like action and adventure films. This is definitely an action and adventure film. I appreciate ones that are historically based and ones that take history and twist it around a little bit, like I said at the beginning. Obviously, you would think that if Abraham Lincoln fought vampires, we would know nowadays. But in the film, and I'm assuming the book, since it's based off the book, they create ways to keep that from the public to this very day. You'll have to see the movie to see what I'm talking about, and just because it's a great movie. I definitely suggest going and seeing this movie. Alright, let's go on with the review, starting with the synopsis. Let me tell you about this little fragment of insanity. Like I said, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter actually started as a novel written by Seth Graham Smith, which was published on March 2nd, 2010. Basically, when Abe was a youngin', he learned that about half of his family was either killed or manipulated by vampires, including his own mother. From this point on, Abe vows to kill as many vampires as he can, and as the short synopsis on IMDb reads, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, discovers vampires are planning to take over the United States, and he makes it his mission to eliminate them. That's what it says right there. Go ahead and look up the full synopsis on Wikipedia if you want, but be warned, there be spoilers. Moving on to the crew. Directing our film is Timur Bekmambetov. I hope to God I'm saying that right, but he is most well known for directing the film Wanted. In fact, the film looks kind of similar to me, except that instead of experiencing crazy bullet action, when you go see the film you'll be experiencing crazy hatchet action. And of course, producing this production is none other than the one and only Tim Burton, famous for his eerie styles of directing that for some reason are okay when you're a kid, and then once you start to grow up you realize how messed up the films really are, and you kind of just start to creep you out and make you say things like ugh. However, for some reason you still love every bit of his films. I think you can see where this one's going. Little coincidence here, as we all know, Tim Burton's latest released production was Dark Shadows. Irony! You know, because it was one of the choices that I gave you Never mind. Writers include novelist Seth Grahame-Smith, of course, whose only other big screenplay title to this day, ironically, again, is Dark Shadows. I swear these two movies have to have at least one scene that's the same. Wouldn't that be something? Abraham Lincoln killing Johnny Depp. Who knows? Our other writer is Simon Kinberg, who has actually written many other action-based screenplays before. These films include Sherlock Holmes, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jumper, X-Men The Last Stand, and a new untitled X-Men movie scheduled to be released in 2014. Now, moving on to the cast. Great lineup for the cast for this film, at least in my opinion, mostly because the cast consists of people I'm not too familiar with yet, which, for me, always turns out to be kind of an interesting adventure, if you think about it, if you know what I mean. As for the leading role, Honest Abe will be played by Benjamin Walker. Before now, Ben's probably most known for his role in Flags of Our Fathers as Harlan Block. Harlan's a minor character in the story, and his most famous line is probably Ben's best to date until Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which is, "It's a guy with a camel." That's something. Mary Todd Lincoln will be played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Mary is probably a much more popular actress known for her roles in the following films: Live Free or Die Hard, Final Destination 3, the 2011 version of The Thing, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Yes, my friends, Abe's wife is played by none other than Scott Pilgrim's girlfriend. Looks like you got another competitor, Scott. I don't really know how you're gonna win this one, because it's the 16th President of the United States who I was already certain was a badass, and now he can wield an axe and kill thousands of mythical beasts. So, good luck to you, Scott. Other major cast members include Dominic Cooper, who plays Howard Stark, aka Iron Man's daddy-o, in Captain America, as well as Alan Tudyk, who plays Steve Douglas, Abe's opponent of the election of 1860. Alan is also famous for his role as Wash in the show Firefly and the movie Serenity, both directed by Joss Whedon, who, if you guys have seen the last video I uploaded about the Avengers, I really enjoy. And we also have Rufus Sewell. Sewell? Something like that, I don't know. Rufus plays the villain that Lincoln is seeking to possibly destroy. Both of the last two actors I just mentioned could also be seen in A Knight's Tale starring Heath Ledger, which was released in 2001. Now before we go, I want to take one last look at the last clip of the trailer. Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am running for President of the United States. Oh, and I'm also a lumberjack superhero. Justice. We should honestly set up a match between Abe Lincoln and the giant Paul Bunyan. What do we call that? Historical combat? You know, like Mortal Kombat? Anyway, who do you think would win? Post your comments below. And make sure you explain. Tell me why. You don't get all the points unless you tell me why. Anyway, thank you guys for watching my video. I hope it wasn't too long. Make sure you keep an eye out for my next vlog, and I'll see y'all later.
Justice.